everyone, and welcome to the University of Sharjah's Guide to Email Etiquette. In this short guide, we'll help you ensure that every time you write an email, you'll be presenting the best version of yourself. So let's begin with the word etiquette. What is etiquette? Etiquette is essentially the rules that tell you the correct way or the right way to behave in certain situations. So when we write emails, we have to follow some rules to present ourselves correctly or to write an email correctly. In this guide, we will discuss 5 basic rules of etiquette that you should follow every time you write an email. Rule number 1 is always to include a clear subject. So, what is a subject? The subject is what you want the email to be about. What you should not do is write the whole email in the subject field. The place for the subject is just the topic for the email. The whole body of the email needs to be below. For example, in this email written to Asma Awad, we have the subject midterm exam dates. That's it, it's straight to the point. Whenever you send an email to somebody at the University of Sharjah, please make sure that you use your University of Sharjah email ID. Do not use an email from outside like Gmail or Hotmail or Yahoo, for example. Rule number 2 is an important rule. When you're sending an email to somebody at the University of Sharjah, please always be formal. Address the person that you're contacting by their title, such as Miss or Mrs., Mr., Doctor, or Professor. Another thing we can do to avoid informal situations is to make sure we use a proper salutation at the beginning of the email. That would be dear or good morning or good afternoon. In this example, we have the student saying, "Hey, Dr. Shabnam." This would be inappropriate. We should say dear or good morning or good afternoon, Dr. Shabnam. Rule number 3 is a good one. Sometimes students forget to introduce themselves when they send an email, and their doctor or professor may not know which student it is or which section they're in. Always be sure to include your full name, the class that you're in, and your section number. As we can see in this example, my name is Maha Ahmed, and I'm your student in Remedial English, Section 12. Rule number 4 is to describe the problem and then to describe your request. This is very important so that your email is clear. For example, if the problem is, "I'm having problems with your assignment in your grammar course," you'll follow that with, "Could I make an appointment to see you during your office hour to discuss the problem?" Or if the problem is, "I missed a quiz yesterday because I was unwell," then you can follow with, "I'd really appreciate it if you'd let me take it whenever it's convenient for you." Or if the problem is, "I'm unable to access the course content that you've added on Blackboard," then you'll follow with the request, "Who can I contact you to solve this issue?" So when you're communicating, always describe the problem and then follow with your request. Or sometimes you just have a question that you want to ask. To ask a question, you should begin with the appropriate question word, such as, "I would like to know." I would like to know which units will be tested on the final exam. Or you could ask with, "Could you please tell me?" Like, "Could you please tell me the last date for submitting the assignment?" Other times you might just have a simple request. To request something from your doctors, please begin with, "Could you please?" such as, "Could you please review my assignment?" Or you could say, "If it is possible, could you?" Like, for example, "If it is possible, could you extend the due date for the assignment?" Rule number 5 is a common one. Please do not write in all capitals. Writing in all capitals can convey that you are shouting your message, and nobody likes to be yelled at. There may be something in your email that's very important that you want to emphasize. If that's the case, please highlight important dates or numbers or text in bold or use underlines. But please avoid using capital letters for all of your email text. When ending your email, please finish with a professional salutation, such as sincerely or best or thanks. or regards. You can combine these as well to say many thanks or best regards. Once you've finished writing, there's some important things to remember. Please make sure to use correct spelling, grammar, and punctuation throughout the email. You can check for this by using the editor in Outlook. There is an editor function that you can select before sending the email, and it will highlight any mistakes that you've got in your email and help you correct them. Other things to remember, please always be respectful and polite. Keep your messages short and direct. Avoid using slang, which is informal language, and acronyms. Please also avoid using emojis. They're great for social media, but not for university emails. And finally, be formal in your messages. Avoid informal language, and being formal is what allows you to keep that professional and polite tone. Also remember that your professors are people too, and they have busy schedules, so please be considerate of their time. Email them well in advance if possible, and avoid emailing them at unreasonable hours. If you've written an email late at night, one thing you can do is not send it right then, but instead you can schedule the email using the schedule send function in Outlook. For example, you can choose to send the email at 8 a.m. the next morning, or you can choose the date and time that you prefer. Now let's look at a sample of a well-written email together. Here we have an email from Abdullah Ali. The subject is clearly mentioned, the meeting request. Notice that the body of the email is not in the subject line, it's just simply to the point of what the email is for. The email begins with a professional salutation, "Dear Dr. Amira." And then Abdullah introduces himself. "I'm a student in your remedial English class," mentions the section, and then explains the problem about having some questions about last week's material, but has another class during the office hours, and makes a request about making another appointment at another time. The email ends with a professional salutation, "Sincerely," and then his name once again. This is the end of the guide to email etiquette. Thank you very much for listening, and we look forward to all of your professional emails in the future.